Good morning, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be among these distinguished panelists, and I thank everyone for taking up the issue of balanced and inclusive education on board, which really feels like that inclusive education is something which sounds to be understood by everyone to mean different things. And I always challenge my audience by asking, how inclusive should inclusive education be? In this question, I don't expect a uniform answer, as we carry a number of diversities in life. Inclusive education, as has been strongly emphasized by the former speaker from Mexico, needs to transit from becoming a concept towards being a life for those who really crave it. And it should speak to the point that it is a right, not a privilege only for few. As a person with a disability, passing through a lot of challenge to get access to education, I can tell you that today in our world, we still have 32 million children with disabilities who are out of school. This number tells us that the world is so far from achieving universal quality education for all in 2030. I don't want to give you a dark picture of the Sustainable Development Goals, as all of us are optimistic about them, and in particular with its overarching principle, the leave no one behind. Among the 17 goals, Goal 4 explicitly speaks about the need to leave no one behind and contains 2 explicit references on the need to make education inclusive. However, we still witness a number of donors on education financing barriers for inclusive education, which is against priority number 2 of ERF's priority. A lot of donors, including the Global Partnership on Education, the European Union, World Bank, still build schools and still supports teachers' training, which are not efficient to respond to the diverse needs of children with disabilities. This in turn will get us into trouble by leaving more children with disabilities out of school again. In my country, Ethiopia, only 0.2% of the education budget is used to support inclusive education. A recent research that we have done on financing on inclusive education, when I say we, it's Light for the World and the International Disability and Development Consortium, less than 1% of the education money is used to finance inclusive education. This again is a critical point to look at and consider. There is a clear disconnect between policy aspirations and budgetary allocations. Ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, I would like to urge you that inclusive and quality education is what we want. It's not mere education. As has been emphasized by the president of ERF, inclusive education is beyond mere access to education. It focuses on the learning outcomes and consequences for the learners. It acknowledges capabilities and human diversities. Therefore, it's very important to make sure that we follow a multi-stakeholder approach, as has been said. I would like to conclude my speech by highlighting some facts. Inclusive education is not only beneficiary for those who have been excluded, including those with disabilities. Rather, it's about building a system which can cater for everyone, regardless of the differences we have. In my personal story, I would have ended to become a beggar on the street had I not been educated, as that is the fate for quite so many children with disabilities in Africa. Therefore, it has not only given me a bread, education has given me an identity. It has given me a name. It has given me a father's name to be called. Therefore, I call upon everyone in this room, when we talk about education, let's challenge exclusion and take practical steps to make all children without disabilities access only inclusive and quality education. I thank you.